Hello students, in this lecture video, I am discussing chapter 12 biotechnology and its applications. So to begin with, let us see that how biotechnology is used in a variety of areas in our life. So it basically deals with industrial scale production of biopharmaceuticals, biologicals, which can be genetically modified microorganisms, fungus, plants and even animals. So, in the field of therapy, diagnosing diseases, formation of GMOs for agriculture, processed food, whether it is treatment of oil spills, bioremediation, treatment of waste, or energy production like biogas. So, what are the main research areas of biotechnology? First is providing best catalyst, which is required in a very pure form. Second, optimizing the conditions like in the fermenters, that how it will be produced in which conditions. And thirdly, a cost effective downstream processing. So today in this lecture video, I'll be discussing the biotechnological applications in the field of agriculture. So main thing is to increase food production in agriculture. So there can be three types of agriculture wherein we can look at the different types which the farmers can adopt and use biotechnology. So let us look at the different methods. One is agrochemical based agriculture, where agrochemicals like pesticides, insecticides will be used. Second is organic agriculture, which will use biofertilizers and biopesticides. And finally, genetically engineered crop based agriculture, where a modified gene is introduced so that there is no need of, you can say, again and again using the hybrid seeds to produce the variety. It is already in the gene. So, the permanent solution, if we look for, is the genetically engineered crop. Now, the Green Revolution, it took into consideration use of agrochemicals, which is fertilizers and pesticides. Slowly, it was realized that we have to also take care of the environment. So then different solutions were given. One was the genetically modified organisms or GMO. That is, the genes will be altered, manipulated, and better characteristics will be enhanced and introduced. So genetic modification, what it looks into? It makes the crops more tolerant to abiotic stresses like different temperature, pH. Then it reduces reliance on the chemical pesticides. It will use organic like biopesticides. Then it will also help to reduce the post-harvest loss, like when the plant or when the crop has been harvested, after that also it should be prevented from destruction. Then the increased efficiency of mineral usage, again gene can be induced where maximum nutrients are taken up by the crop to increase the yield. Lastly, which is very important, enhanced nutritional value. So genes can be cloned wherein like in vitamin A enriched rice, that is beta carotene rich rice, golden rice, which is termed as. So the nutritional value can also be enhanced. Now, a very common example in field of agriculture, which we had seen in the previous chapter also, is the Bt toxin, which is very specific for certain insects and used as insecticide. So we know this Bt toxin, this is only active in the gut of insect larva, where it gets the alkaline pH. Otherwise, it is not active. So the Bt cotton, how it was produced? In the Bt cotton, what was done? The gene was identified first, which will code for this insecticidal protein. And it will kill the certain budworms, dipterans and specific insects. So this gene was identified to be cry gene, and different proteins which are encoded are against different insects. Like cry1AC, cry2AB, they control cotton bollworms, and cry1AB, it controls the corn borer. So Bt cotton is a widely accepted genetically modified crop. So one is this usage in agriculture. Now let us look at how the pest resistant plants can be made using RNA interference. There is another technology wherein a novel strategy was adopted to prevent the infestation of nematode, which is Melidogany incognitia. What it does, it infects roots of tobacco plants. So what was done? That a not natural cellular defense of RNA interference was seen into consideration. What is seen that the double-stranded RNA is used over here, and this double-stranded RNA, we already know that when DNA it codes for RNA, only one strand is transcribed, so that later on it will translate into proteins. But in RNA interference, what is done? A double-stranded RNA is made so that it is complementary, the sequences are complementary, and protein is not produced. We don't want the pathogenic protein to be produced. So then one thing is introducing double-stranded RNA of Melardnogani incognitia, and another is we can introduce antisense RNA. Means suppose a plant is infected by this nematode, RNA is formed, we have introduced in the plant antisense RNA, means complementary to this. So it will bind and then protein synthesis will not happen. So the transgenic plant or the genetically modified plant has protected itself from the nematode. You can see in this figure that roots of typical plants and transgenic roots. What difference is there? Okay, means nematodes are infected in part A but not in part B. This is infestation.